Hello, everybody, and welcome to Classic Country Backstories. I'm Colleen Gallagher. Today's vlog is very near and dear to my heart because we talk about someone I was lucky enough to work and spend some time with. Join me as we learn about the triumph and tragedy of Mel Street. Nashville, Tennessee, country music capital of the world, home of the Grand Ole Opry, where singers and dreamers come seeking stardom. Join me as we learn about the lives and careers of those who built this town on Classic Country Backstories. Mel Street is one of the most revered entertainers in country music history. Although his life was tragically cut short, his music lives on because we remember his incredible voice and songwriting talent. King Malachi Street was born on October the 21st, 1933, in a mountainous region near Grundy, Virginia. He was the son of a coal miner. Mel had already begun his musical career singing on Virginia and West Virginia radio stations by the age of 15. After Mel married, he and his wife Betty moved around Ohio for a few years, where Mel worked as a radio tower electrician. In 1960, Mel and Betty moved to the Niagara Falls area, where Mel learned about auto body repair during the day and worked as a nightclub performer at night. Street said in an interview that he moved back to his hometown of Bluefield, Virginia in 1968 to host a 30-minute show called Country Showcase on a Bluefield television station. The show ran from 1968 through 1972. During this time, Mel owned an auto body repair shop. He wrote Borrowed Angel in 1969, then recorded it on Tandem Records, a small regional record label owned by cable television company owners Jim and Jean Prater. In 1972, the song was picked up by Royal American Records, which was a larger label, and it became a top 10 on the Billboard country charts, topping out at the number 7 position. Jim Prater became Mel's personal manager. Prater remained his manager for the rest of Mel's life. In Mel's career, he took 23 songs to the Billboard charts. His songs relied heavily on fiddle and steel guitar. Steel guitar legend Lloyd Green added so much to make those songs timeless gems for serious country music lovers. Green stated that Mel Street was his favorite all-time artist to work with. Royal American Records was purchased by Metro Media Records. Here, Mel recorded Lovin On Backstreets. This is one of the best cheatin' songs of all time. It was Mel's biggest hit, recorded in 1972, rising to the number 5 position on the Billboard charts. Mel's career was really taking off, and he began touring heavily at this time. Touring created pressures for Mel both personally and professionally. In 1974, Mel signed with the GRT record label, where he had 2 top 20 hits, You Make Me Feel More Like a Man and the self-penned Forbidden Angel. Smoky Mountain Memories was released in 1975 and climbed to the number 13 position on the Billboard country charts. What most of the world didn't know was that Mel was battling depression and alcohol problems for some time, and his ever-demanding tour schedule was taking a toll on his life and his family. Mel scored another top 10 hit in 1976 when he signed with Polydor Records and recorded I Met a Friend of Yours Today. I had the pleasure of working with Mel Street on a show at the Melville High School in South St. Louis in 1976. He was a kind and soft-spoken man. I remember how nice he was to me and my mom, and that him and my dad struck up a conversation about tractor engines, among other things. He was just a down-to-earth human being, and I could have never guessed that he was struggling in any way. I feel so fortunate that we got to spend the evening with him and his manager, Jim Prater. and that I got to experience his incredible voice. 2 more albums, released in 1977 and 1978, produced 2 more hits, Barbara, Don't Let Me Be the Last to Know, and If I Had a Cheatin' Heart. In 1978, after years of hard work, it looked like Mel's career was finally moving forward when he landed a lucrative contract with Mercury Records. It appeared that stardom was just ahead. Mel made numerous appearances on popular country music shows, such as That Good Old Nashville Music, Hee Haw, and The Merv Griffin Show. According to Jim Prater, Mel Street loved being on stage and performing. It was the time between performances and returning home that was so hard on him personally. He didn't like to be away from his family, and he did not like the downtime while out on the road. Mel appeared just a few months before his death on That Good Old Nashville Music, performing his first hit, Borrowed Angel. According to Mel's manager, Jim Prater, Mel seemed very depressed following a Texas tour and had just finished working on one of 2 albums that were to be finished by the end of the year. It seemed like all of this was weighing heavily on his mind. Prater did not believe that matters were that pressing, but it seemed that way to Mel. He became increasingly unable to cope with the pressures of the business. On the morning of October 21st, 1978, Mel's 45th birthday and the 53rd anniversary of the Grand Ole Opry, Mel and Betty were having breakfast with Mel's brother and sister-in-law at his residence in Hendersonville, Tennessee, when Mel suddenly excused himself from the table and went upstairs. A few minutes later, a shot was heard. Mel's brother ran up the stairs and found Mel with the gun next to him. Mel was taken to the Nashville Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Mel was survived by his wife Betty, daughters Sherry and Jenny, and sons David and Chet, along with brothers Elbert, Harry, and Elijah. Sadly, on the day Mel died, his latest single on Mercury Records was released. Just Hangin' On was a song about a man about at the end of his rope. Mel Street went on to chart 4 posthumous songs. George Jones sang Amazing Grace at Mel Street's funeral. Mel Street was buried at the Woodlawn Roche Patton Memorial Park in Nashville, Tennessee, where so many other country greats are interred. You will find Mel's grave in the Garden of Time section of the cemetery. The birth date of October 21st, 1936 is incorrect, according to family members who confirm that his birth date was actually October 21st, 1933. In 1981, an album of Mel's greatest hits was released and promoted on television. The album sold 400,000 copies. Even after Mel Street's death in 1978, he continued to inspire many others who went on to achieve stardom, such as Sammy Kershaw and Darrell Singletary, among many others. In 1998, a group of entertainers, including Dale Watson, Rosie Flores, and Kelly Willis, recorded a project called Wandering Eyes, Songs of Forbidden Love, the King of Cheatin' Songs. This album includes some of Mel Street's most well-known songs, such as Forbidden Angel and Lovin On Backstreets. Lloyd Green did more than his share to keep Mel's music alive by playing and recording Mel Street songs, including Borrowed Angel, on his tribute CD called Revisited. Thanks to YouTube and streaming services, we can still find his music and performances. It's impossible to know where Mel Street's career would have taken him if he had not left this world so soon. However, his songs still are played by those of us who truly love traditional country music. If you want to listen to one of the greatest voices ever known to country music, go find some Mel Street music. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to another episode of Classic Country Backstories. It means so much to me that you are helping me to keep traditional country music alive and well. Until next time, take care, God bless, and I'll see you later.